It is coming to you live and direct from Star TV, and of course, this is the Morning Star program. Can you please take us through Ramatulai?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, to start with the standard newspaper, the first says that Chief Justice Jallo calls for a change of strategy in quest for a new constitution. So, to dive into it,
We just take a look at all the headlines on the newspapers,
Okay.
and then after we'll come with the main story.
all right. So, the next one we have,
Yeah,
For- for the point, we have Kande Oji's transparency, fair election ahead of December polls. And then we also have 3 young females suspected to embarking on Barkway arrested.
Yeah.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah, so also, good morning, Mr. President. It says irregular migration, not a border problem, but rather it is a job and hope crisis.
Okay.
And also, NPP celebrates by-election victories in Kayaf and Bantajang.
Mhm.
National judges unveil for 3rd edition of Gambia Teachers Prize.
Mhm.
And also, COPG leader claims Gambia at height of economic conflict.
Mhm.
So basically, these are the
That's
stories.
the point.
Yeah.
Let's take. What do we have on the
The Standard.
newspaper?
So
Because
this standard newspaper reads, NPP celebrates by-election victories in Kayaf and Bantajang. Turkey-Gambia relations achieve landmark developments in 2025. And new head of Petroleum Commission, Kani Job, speaks. And then Afrisal Hans overfest Nekal Borom Care House in emotional ceremony.
Oh.
So, yeah, these are the
Interesting.
headlines.
Interesting stories. Let's begin with the main story on the Standard newspaper and take a look at it.
Okay, so as I read
Yeah.
earlier, it's Chief Justice Jallo calls for change of strategy in quest for a new constitution. So it's actually written by Tabora Bojang. In a rare public comment on the Gambia's troubled constitutional building process, Chief Justice Hassan Jallo recently called for a change of strategy in search for a new constitution to provide an effective legal framework, both for now and for future generations, in supporting good governance, peace, and progress. Jallo made these comments in lecture he delivered at 2nd edition of the SADA, the Kairaba Jawara Pan-African Lecture, organized by the Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization at International Conference Center. Chief Justice Jallo noted that since 2017, the country tried but failed twice to adopt a new constitution due to apparent lack of consensus on certain political critical elements of the draft. So one thing that he actually mentioned here too is people agreeing on, we should agree, like especially the NAMs, should agree on what everybody has a consensus on, and also leave what they feel like is disagreed by a lot of people. So although there can be amendments, because we're still under 1997 Constitution, but then as he mentioned there, that people tend to focus more on what others disagreed on, that is on the Constitution, which actually can be amended.
Okay.
But then he's urging or advising that parliamentarians should focus on the consensus, the agreement that people had that is written in the Constitution.
Okay.
So we're still going by the 1997 Constitution, by the way. Yeah.
So then we should change our strategy.
Absolutely, that's what he's trying to pass across here.
Exactly, but let's take a look at what was done, because definitely it came as a blow to some people when it fails.
Right.
Some people were thinking like they were going to pass this, the draft constitution was going to pass, and then we will definitely have a new constitution
Right.
that will usher in the third republic for us and stuff like that. And all of a sudden everything fed out.
Right.
What do you think must have been the reason for people or for that draft constitution to fail or not to pass the next stage or whatever? Or do you still think that people are interested in having a new constitution, or do you think people definitely wanted to continue with this 1997 constitution, which I don't think it's suitable for us now, because according to my understanding and my belief and the way things are going, I believe we need to usher in a third republic. We need to have a no constitution, because there are some laws in this constitution that are not favorable to us. And then especially, one could even say that we have some draconian laws in this constitution. What do you think must be done?
So basically, from my own perspective, I would say, as you've mentioned, the 1997 Constitution is something that it could be reviewed again, because time evolves and people are changing.
Yes.
Certain rules some things are seen, let's say, as an offense before, but now they are normalized.
Yes.
So if certain elements are included in the Constitution which people don't agree to, I think, as the CJ says, people should focus on what others agreed on, and then try
not
the disagreement. Because if we to continue with what, this is disagreed by people, and then we have to just put it aside, it's going to take a long time.
Definitely, because we cannot all agree together.
Exactly. So the thing is, certain things are favorable for other people, while others it's not. So some elements that are there, others are supporting it, while others are not. So that's what is actually bringing the disagreement. But then, as is advised, we should focus on what we all agreed on, and then let go of what the disagreements are. Exactly. So if not, it's going to take a while before it's going to be actually completely amended or changed.
No, yeah. I totally agree, because we cannot all agree together, because there are some elements that so many people don't agree with. So it's important to just take a look at the majority, and this is what we agreed on, and then we move on. It sounds great, because if not, fii la ñoo yàgg. dañoo toog fii nii ba yàlla xam duñ musa d'accord. Yeah. But especially su fekkee ne am nañ some key provisions yoo xam ne nii, especially in terms of term limit, in terms of whether they have to include the word secular in the constitution. So figure some of these things d'accord nañ ci yoo xam ne ni yii moom mooy loolu, especially the term limit and stuff, nga def ko mu nekk ci entering clause bi and stuff like that, nga gis ne kenn du ko mën a génne, kenn du ko mën a change unless you go and have a referendum and stuff like that. Su nekkee ne mën nañu agree with some of these things, then we can move on. Because mënuma gis sense bi ñu spend so many millions for us to have a new constitution, and then ñu def ko under the carpet. So su fekkee that is the case, then what Halifa Sallah said before was right, because need law then pour nga spend xaalis bari boobu, we could have just amend some provisions, génne lii fii def lële fële luñ feel na baaxut yëpp ñu génne ko, lu baax ñu dugal ko fa, and then we have a new constitution, we move on, then ñu yóbbu ko referendum, nit ñi sànni ko, and then we will usher in the third republic. Because moo tax ñeneen ñu bari sax ba léegi la sax nit ñi understand nañ, because ñu bari dañ foog ne changes bi am na ba régime bi change, foog nañ ne republic bi ndax Gambia dañ usher in the third republic, because people were not aware, and then but now things are evolving, just like you said, and there are some laws you have that maybe it's normal now, and now you have that it's a draconian law, and then what needs to be done is to change strategy, come the right way, and then you move on. Then we have the third republic, and then jamono ñoy su ko defee nu golo xam bootee doomam.
Absolutely. So I think also I think certain things people want to put into consideration here that others might not see. For example, when it comes to term limit, for example, it's not only the Gambia. Most African countries, as you can see, even the oldest president is from Africa. So people tend to see it as, it's fine if they go in for elections and they win, it's okay. But I believe term limit is very, very important, because sometimes if you don't have time limits, like you want to vie again, for example, and then you've already spent a lot of years in power, there are certain things you want to achieve, but because you believe that, okay, I can just wait until maybe when I come back again in power and then do those things. But if you believe that, okay, this is my last and final one, I have to do everything that I promised my people. So but if there is nothing like time limit, you just continue going, and then that wouldn't be good for your people.
That's not good. That would not even bring in development.
Exactly. Absolutely. And power is something that once you taste it, according to those in power, you don't want to leave.
Wala ma jur ko doom boo xam ne dafa nekk buur because dafa ne. Yeah, obviously.
That's true. So to move ahead.
Yeah, no, let's take another story on the Standard newspaper.
Yeah.
There are some maybe one or two stories on the Standard newspaper. Yeah.
So President Barrow actually calls NPP victories in Kaya for a referendum. So it reads, President Adam Barrow has described the National People's Party's recent victories in Bantajang and Kaya ward by elections as a clear reflection of growing voter confidence and political reflection of growing momentum ahead of the 2026 general elections. Addressing journalists on the results, President Barrow noted that the results acted as a referendum not only for the ruling party but also for the opposition, highlighting a pattern consistent with previous by-elections. It is a referendum for us and the opposition. This is history repeating itself. There was a referendum in the by-elections in Nyamina and Jokalu, where we won both seats. The same trend is repeating, so we are very confident heading into 2026. I believe we will achieve similar or even greater successes, he said.
Wow.
Amazing.
This is, this is, anyway, congratulations to the NPP. Especially, the Kayaf ward in Kiang. Because that's a stronghold for the opposition. So for NPP, in fact, in Fonyi as well, which is believed to be a stronghold for the APRC Noto Alliance. So this is definitely something great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, confidence for the NPP, because we are approaching
the elections.
Elections, yeah. And if they can deliver this much, then but anyway,
it's just confidence.
No, but it's nice because like okay, I don't want. What I'm trying to say here is like they've won both, by-election seats the last time, and this time around too as well they did it. But that doesn't mean they need to fold their hands to say no, come on, can you figure or whatever, because it happens during the presidential election when they had a landslide victory, and then they win the function, groundwork very well, thinking they were just going to come, during the parliamentary election and strip the whole polls and stuff like that. But it didn't happen because they were beating, and then the opposition would have gain so many seats by then, and then Lulu was a wake-up call to the NPP. So Fagnana, the same thing I'm doing for the def Lulu, because in Japan win seats in Japan an election seat in your mom, it's going to be a landslide victory again, because the opposition would definitely learn from this. Especially with the UDP, because we've seen what happened with the UDP recently, where so many executive members of the UDP resigns. So it was a blow to them. They've all resigned. Especially their campaign manager, their secretary, organizing secretary, their whatever. These are big guns. So you resign from the party, but to them, it was nothing. There are some people who left before and it didn't shake the party. So if they go, it will not be a problem. To them. But that was a mistake. And it's still a mistake. You cannot lose, that amount of executive members in your party and you think it's not a problem. It is a problem, especially with your campaign manager. And these are all, people that holds, some key positions within the UDP. They play a role, so understand, even if you replace them with other people, it will take time before they will understand.
Because the experience too
matters. Exactly. So, and it shows.
Absolutely.
It shows. It does. So I think they need to, I wouldn't say I don't know whether it's restructuring, but they need to do their homework very well before the 2026 elections. So, but how do you see that election coming?
Actually, for me, I was like, I knew from, the end around December, the way people were just talking on the radio stations, on TV, people will talk about elections. And I know it's important. The IEC have a lot of work to do because this might be their first time of voting, and then they have to educate them in order for them to avoid a lot of invalid votes. So, and then all media houses have a role to play in this too, because I'm not saying it's going to be one of its kind, but it's something that everybody's anticipating, everybody's looking up to. So there's a lot of things that especially journalists or media houses need to play, from the sensitization of voters, knowing who are the new ones that are, the one that's just registered, for example, when registrations are open. So there's a lot that people have to do, because it is something that a lot of people are looking up to, because others, I mean, people expect different things. Yeah, expectations are high, and everybody has a choice, but then the results actually is the one that people will go by. Yeah. So even with the political number of political parties we have nowadays, I was thinking, I'm like, the Gambia is small, and yet we have all these people that wants to be, become leaders. Sometimes I feel like experience is good, but also people think because, let's say, they are youths, it's good to put in a youth in that place. But also you tend to realize that certain people, they work hard for it, they want to be it, but the experience is not there. So it's good to have someone that, knows these things, is hoping for a better Gambia. I mean, that's what we all want. We want a better Gambia, but then we cannot just have that better Gambia if our leaders don't want it. So everybody's looking up to, okay, this is the candidate that I want to go in for this position, because I believe with time, Gambia is going to change. It's going to be the Gambia that we all want. But another person also would say different thing. So you tend to realize that everybody has their own opinion, yeah? People say whatever they feel like. I mean, it's my right to vote. Yeah, it's your right to vote, but then you have to vote wisely. That's what people will tell you. So for first-time voters, I think there's a lot that the IEC have to do when it comes to sensitization of them, knowing, don't just go vote because, I mean, is the Gambia only I see, because the compound head is in supporting this political party, then all the other family members have to follow. Yeah. So you have to follow someone that, I mean, read their policies and know who you believe can, make the Gambia the way you want it to be, the way that other countries are. So it's a lot of work there, and hopefully it's going to be a success.
You said something very important. I'm going to load up the problem, Fini, because some people support certain parties because their fathers used to support them. They will support, let's say, for example, Party A, because, growing up, this is the party his family has been supporting. Exactly. So that being the reason, then Mom Dafa support Party Bobonon. So that is the mistake many people are doing. Because don't you try to know the party very well, to try to understand whether party would have got what it takes to be given this country. Yeah. No, some people will vote based on party lines. Some people will vote based on
because their families are supporting
the family is supporting him, or because they're neighbors, or because I know someone who knows him, and stuff like that. So it's most of the time in Mota Africa they jump that kind of problem. Sometimes we have leaders because but the support is important.
Yeah.
Mënuloo saanil nit ki, mënuloo elect nit ki ba pare after ngeen taxaw ci ginnaawam ba pare di ko saaniwaat here. Now sometimes we have that problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about our leaders, it's about us.
The people. Yeah.
Xam nga loolu la olof de wax ne da nga jiital nit ki ba pare di ko faxastal. It's happening in our institutions everywhere.
It is.
All right.
I mean, we have the voice paper, the voice newspaper here too. So, that being said, we'll move on to the point newspaper.
Yeah, let's take a look at the point and then we'll move on.
So the point, Kande urges transparency, fair elections ahead of December polls. But first, I think we should look at Good Morning, Mr. President, where it talks about irregular migration, that it's not a border problem, but rather it's a jobs and hope crisis.
Really?
So it says, it's Good Morning of Janak. So far, the death toll has risen from 39. Even migration is a high surge in going. Like, topical issue is many. I think mostly the reason why people tend to, I mean, it's good to understand what migration all entails before, let's say, judging people that are trying to travel to other countries. Okay. So I think migration has actually a push and a pull factor. Some people will tell you, I am traveling because of poverty. I want to elevate my family from the suffering. And others will tell you, I just want a good life. I mean, I wouldn't get it here so easily. So I think one thing people should understand is, it's not bad to migrate, is it? It's not. Yeah. But taking the ways that you're going to migrate is the problem, actually. So you can travel, not a problem. People pay for visas, they travel. But then the moment people try to go to the back way, for example, they're risking their lives. And the fact that people will go even at some point will even go their entire family or carry along with them children that don't even know where they're heading to. I think that's something that every family should, look into properly, because wanting a good life doesn't mean you should risk others' lives too, because you don't know whether you're going to get out there alive. Okay. So it's something. It is a decision that one has to think it through before embarking on it. So perhaps you may want to add something.
That is what is happening, because sometimes what I believe is if you are to travel, you have to have a reason why you're traveling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people will travel without having a reason. Because to say no, there is a possibility, let me just go, it's not a reason.
It's not.
There should be a reason why you them.
I mean, you have a purpose why you're going.
Exactly. Because of lipsy them now, damadam, it's not a good reason. That's not a reason. Pour man do reason beside it. Because lo da nga gis ku dem rek nga jog dem. Te gis naa koo xam ne nii daf daan taxaw di wax ne ok boy lii daf ko daan against. Especially boy ñun mag la ñii lii yëfi mag nangam wax lii dama ci dem lii xelaatuma ko sax nii. But in the end dafa dem ci loolu, and then foofu la dee tam as well. You see how unfortunate that is. So I'm not saying people should not go. I'm not saying that, because ni ku nekk yaa xam si ban situation nga nekk, yaa xam si ban condition, but xam naa ne mar naan bu mu doon taxa naan put it. Understand bul jékki-jékki rek gis na nit ñaa ngay dem nga ne xaaral ma dem. Toogal ba ñor la, toogal ba xam lan moo tax ngay dem, tegal sa time bu baax a baax, because easy wut gis nañ problème bi ci nekk. The last time maa ngi seetaan benn video. Gaal bi dafa capsize, and then there is this woman muy jooy ci biir moto bi daana why me why is my baby gaa di ko téye di ko kuul, doomam bi dafa des ci biir ndox bi. In the first place su fekkee dafa travel ak doomam, what sense does it make? It doesn't make any sense. Ak liir bu ndaw boobu maybe tam as well xëy na dafa deliver along the way.
It's possible
because
too.
The last time we had people talking about that, some people got pregnant while
going
si yoon bi di dem ak yoon. Some people got their babies, they delivered along the way. So it's a different thing. But all I know is, someone should have a reason why you're traveling. Whether so like what have illegal migration visa, even so I'm a visa to go to Europe or whatever. You must have a reason why you're traveling.
Absolutely.
Because little more so them going to settle easily. Because I'm got target already. This is what I want to do. This is feel like why nga them just like that. Danga dem be aga be pare di dora talk pour xelaat yow lan nga wara def.
That's because they lack vision, because they don't know what they're going for. Exactly. And I think social media also plays a crucial role in this. Recently we've seen people who have traveled. You will see them taking beautiful pictures, posting it, and you're like, this person is really enjoying. I should do the same. So sometimes, what we should know is what you see on social media and what really is happening is totally different.
Totally different.
People can go through a lot in, the personal life, but when it comes to social media, you see them happy all the time. You even wonder how. But then they won't tell you the bad thing that they're going through. And even getting to that place is not easy. People have been singing all along. It's not easy to get to that place. People die on our way, and still people go. So it's something that I still can't fathom, because you will see that they will tell you 4 or 5 people from this compound went, and then they all died, but still they won't learn. You still see them carrying their families and going. So it's very risky. You don't know whether you're going to get there alive or dead, but you still have that urge to go. So I think it's important to have a vision, as you said, have a purpose of why you even want to travel at the first place. Yeah,
it's just crazy.
It is,
and it's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, that's how it looks like for me too.
No, it's not stopping. People will still go.
Honestly,
But the thing is, right now it's not the right time to go. Because, you talk to some people, this is what they will tell you. Man, I believe it as well, because I've said that.
Yeah.
I've said that Europe, I said that, some parts of Africa, North Africa, I said that and stuff like that. So, get you friendly.
Yeah.
Not if time when I get a girl capsize, na girl be real, na girl be real.
I think it's
because sometimes hamulo, I've never been there, but understand now so say they or mubaringala gidu munane.
Yeah.
And then imagine a guy travel, but I see foggy. Captain bisa do ham fala modem.
Yeah, honestly.
When the place is so foggy,
you don't even know where you're going.
You don't know where you're going.
Right.
So lol moy waral gal bi reer na, lol moy waral gal bi daanu na, lol moy waral gal bi. So I think people need to, think about this properly. They need to,
have that awareness about everything, the time to go, and then
before they go. So
That's right. And to conclude with that, there's this story that says 3 young females suspected of embarking on backway that are arrested. So on the 10th of January 2026, officers of the Immigration Intelligence Unit on routine patrol around the Barra-Janak Sea crossing point intercepted 3 young females aged 17, 18, and 19 years respectively. Imagine,
Wow.
you're just 17, 18, and 19, and you want to go to backway.
But all these people that you're hearing from time to time, they're all other, young people,
Yeah.
especially teenagers.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So they were arrested?
Yeah, they were arrested. And, they're still with them.
Wow.
They were actually found loitering along the shores with bags packed, and they were conveyed to the immigration office for screening. And then they were confirmed as natives of Tangi and Jabang. They admitted their intention to embark on irregular migration. So they were actually caught, the 3 of them. And they are female too.
Jigéen ñoo gën a dëgër fit.
It's concerning, really.
Jigéen ñoo gën a dëgër fit, I am telling you.
Everybody wants to make it. That's the thing.
Ma ne ko boobu mbir la. Boobu mbir la anyway. Yeah, I think that should be it for that paper, and then gis naa gars yi indi la point newspaper, Voice newspaper.
Yeah,
just
the Voice
right now.
newspaper.
Do you have any interesting story on the Voice newspaper? Sometimes then you have similar stories. If that is the case, then we can call it a day for the newspapers.
I saw one here. It says witness denies helping police apprehend Omar Baji.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get into that. So this story reads: key witness in the coroner's inquest into the death of Omar Baji has denied allegations that he assisted police in the arrest of the 27-year-old, whose death following a police encounter in September last year sparked nationwide outrage. Malanketa testified on Friday before Principal Magistrate Anna Umendi at the Brikama Magistrate Court that he neither reported Baji to the police nor helped officers apprehend him on September 26, 2025. And Baji died shortly after an encounter with officers of the Gambia Police Force in Mandinari. So the police initially stated that he collapsed while fleeing during a patrol link to suspected cannabis possession and was later pronounced dead at Kanifing General Hospital. Family members and eyewitnesses, however, alleged that he was beaten by officers. So I believe this is a story that we're all familiar with, the case of Omar Baji. So a witness here is saying that is denying of helping the police to apprehend Omar Baji.
Wow.
And it's sad that he's a young man too, someone that is a youth. But these are things that sometimes they happen out of the blue. You don't even know how it happened or when it's coming.
Yeah.
So
it was a very sad moment those days, because so many people were arrested.
yeah.
Some tires were burned, and then we cannot afford to have a similar situation anymore, because it was definitely not good seeing that situation. They could have controlled the situation better. So faking he was beating Lulu mom, it's surprising, but it's not even surprising. I'm not saying that. Lima moy, because many times they accuse of being brutal and stuff like that, but they have to take their time. Nekki soko arrêté ak nu munti mel tam jaarale ko ci yoon moo gën, as far as arrest nga ko ba pare. Do not beat him, do not torture him, do not do things like
that are inhuman
to him. Because if you take a look at April 10, 11, the same thing happened.
Yeah.
When that boy was arrested, he was beating. Nit ñi wax nañ ne dañ ko jox cement mu naan and stuff like that. And then he lost his life.
Wow.
Keneen ak keneen noonu. So nit yi suñ demee ba lu naxar leen, they will take to the street, and if they do, then you will not be able to control them.
Yeah, That's actually true.
You will not be able to control them. So more, then you want to buy hell anyway, because we cannot afford to have, a similar situation again.
And that's why it's also important to the police force. I think among themselves they have a huge role to play too, for them to be educated about all these things. Once you arrest an individual, why torture them again?
I want to believe they've got some training about some of these things.
I mean, they should.
I want to believe they do. But the thing is, like, sometimes people don't control themselves when they're angry. More the issue of anger management is very important.
Very important.
Because there was a time ago, even in our schools, we need to introduce this, to teach students how to
manage
control themselves, how to manage themselves. Because anger management is very important.
It is.
I'm not your lead and ko ham, maybe changa ko ham ko, but so many documents apply. Just because you cannot control yourself.
That's right.
So I want to believe they were taught some of these things. They were well trained, because right now, seeing police force, we've got some professionals in our police force, and with good training and stuff like that. So I want to believe yes they do, but that's the problem sometimes in your control. So we are not saying he was tortured. We are not confirming that he was tortured. We are saying if he was, that was not the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we are saying.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, as people that are supposed to be protecting lives and properties, I think even if no one tells you, it's easy for you to know that once I arrest an individual, why should I go ahead to torture them again? Because I myself, let's say, if you're a police officer, one thing you should know that you are here to protect people and not to harm them, not to cause them any harm. So it would be wiser if you know like what you're supposed to do and what you shouldn't do, because dealing with people is not easy. So as you said, to learn how to manage your anger, control yourself in critical situations, it's very important.
Just take a look at this, look at it this way. When you are arrested, most of the time they need a caution.
Yeah.
You're given a cautionary statement. You're like you have the right to remain silent. Whatever.
Yeah,
you do,
not to say use against you in the court of law.
That is a cautionary statement. They just caution you to remain silent. Why? Because they don't want you to break the law. They don't want you to be aggressive. They don't want you to be angry with them. They don't want you to do something stupid.
Right.
So if you're cautioning people to do that, why would you, the officer yourself, lose control and do the otherwise?
That's true.
That is why when even you updates statements, when you're arrested, this is what they tell you. So you cannot tell me that and then you go ahead and do something else. So if that is what was done, so that's very wrong. That's very wrong. And then so if the situation will escalate, because people would not just fold their hands and then you expect them to walk away and then go home. No, if their colleague is beating to death or brutalized and stuff like that, they will show up. They will show up and they will react. They will protest against you, and then it will not stop there, because you can start in Kanifing, it comes down to Westfield, to Serakunda, to Dipakunda, and then no more grow. So 10-11 April 10-11 tabli moko waral. What was planned to be a peaceful demonstration turns to be a very deadly situation. So that's very important to put new biological health.
Honestly. And I also think that it will be important too, because I'm not sure there are a lot of requirements to be in the police force. I mean, looking at, I think some grade 9, and I mean, as long as you're healthy, you have the energy and everything, you can be part of the police force. I think it's if they cannot have a specific school, there should be a certain requirement that certain people should have before they become part of it. Because this is something, I mean, Gambia is a growing population. We might be small for now, but then we're growing. And also knowing our rights, their rights as well, is also very important. In order for us to avoid all of these things, it's important for everyone to know this is my right. And I mean, everyone has a right, yeah? But as we're told, where your right stops is where another person starts. Yeah. So it's important for you to know your limitations as well. Despite having that power, you shouldn't use it forcefully to get what you want. Instead, you should be there trying to protect everyone. So putting certain requirements for them before they join the police force, I think that will also it will really help at some point.
I believe the requirements are there. To
I mean, like for educational, for the academic side. I mean,
academic side. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Xam naa ne moom foog nga am loo wane de. Grade 9 living certificate la moo nekk grade 12. I believe grade 9.
Yeah,
I believe
grade 9. So.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I'm also happy that there's civic education.
Education.
In schools, because with that too, students actually that are young, can also know certain things. I mean, their rights, also their responsibilities as well, because right, as they say, goes with responsibilities too. So,
yeah, makes sense. Important. That should be it for the newspaper review. I think we've got similar stories, and if that is the case, then we can just get to.
So there's this one last one we could look at.
Okay, all right.
It says, Kande says development is government's responsibility, not opposition's. So it's still politics again.
Kande says what?
He says development is government's responsibility, not opposition's.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mama Kande, leader of the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress, has condemned government statements suggesting that citizens should question the development projects brought to their communities by opposition parties. He described such claims as shameful, emphasizing that taxes paid by citizens fund government initiatives, not opposition parties. Speaking during a court CV said to Konko Fula village in Lower Fuladu district, Kande urged citizens to reject these statements and reminded officials that national development is a government responsibility financed from public resources. So that actually takes me to when people looking at the recent concerts that happened, where you see Gambians bringing out a huge amount of money on, foreign artists. So you tend to realize that others will be like, is this person not wasting money and all that? But others will tell you that where you actually pay your tax is where your eye should be on, not what someone else is spending outside. And for some reason, I believe that once you know you're paying a tax, it's your sole responsibility to know where it's going to. Not like you directly holding public officials accountable. That's not your duty. But then it will be wiser if you know where all these are going to, instead of blaming others who are private owners spending money on other things. Because it's important to know that any single thing that you buy, there's a tax fee attached to it. So if you blaming people that are not the incumbent government because they're spending, it's something that people should also look into. Because recently I've seen posts about Nene, given out, given a huge amount of money, people complaining, others saying all sort of things, and I believe that once she has it, it has. We don't give it to her. Gambians don't give her the money.
There is no law
between
man and his property. I'm going to hear more. Fii nit ñi dañ ja war a wax ak liñ ñu wax du benn.
Exactly.
Moo ko moom su ko neexee na ko taal. Loolu affaire am la.
Yeah.
waaye dinañ ko ci wax nag dinañ ko wax mu def ci lu baax bu may ci mu saraxee ki mu def nangam waaye su jàppee ne lii la bëgg a def loolu problème
let her do it.
loolu problème man loolu du dibéet sax léegi-léegi ba dégg nit ñi démb rek toog naa place gars yi di ko wax xam nga lum sol daala bi pocket bi ma ne so what yéen ñun fii sax ñu ngi spend loo xam ne nii am na koo xam ne soo ko wee dafa ne non man loolu duma ko def
waaw
yow yaa ngi spend loo xam ne tey for exemple ndéew rek am na yow xam ne ñu ngi spend $150 pour ndéew ou 200 pour ndéew am na ko xam soo ko dafa ne loolu jaaxal la man loolu du ma ko def moom pour moom dafaa jënd mbuuroo ba tax naan tiyeeb rek pare naa ci lan moo tax maa jël $200 du ko dugal ci ndéew so this is life moo ko moom mun nga ko advice xaalis bi de su demoon fii moo gën soo ko defoon ci lii moo gën loolu is normal but moom moo feel ne lii la bugg a def loolu la bugg a def and then li mu doon def mooy dafa bëggoon a solo and so solo you want to be comfortable
right
and loolu la feel ne mooy tax mu comfortable daf nii la bëgg a ñu adressé ko moom you dress the way you want to be addressed
right
and then lii moo ko shoot lii am na xaalis bi what is the problem man let's go through this development issue with Mama Kandeh and stuff like that because dafa mel ni maa ngi gis mu ne it's the responsibility of government,
Yeah.
not the opposition. How ma fan la moo waxee exactly whether he means infrastructural development or not, because dama xam ne development is a shared responsibility
Yeah.
between the government and the opposition. So if government can provide policies and resources, then the opposition holds them accountable, and then yeneen ak yeneen private sector bi ak nangam ak nangam. So how ma lan la mean, is it infrastructural development or not? And even so, if it's in infrastructural development, I believe opposition said bopatam, it is their responsibility as well to support the communities that they are living in, to support people that voted for them, not because of you're not the president or you're not the government, you're not going to do that for them. No, if government does it, then fine. If government don't want to do it, and you have it, and then it's your responsibility to do that for your people. So I understand fan la mo waxe amna yo xamne it is the responsibility of the government, yes, because you don't expect the opposition to come and then construct the OIC highway.
Right.
You don't expect the opposition to do that. It's not their responsibility, yes. But development dafa yaatu moo tax ma ne xaw ma fan la moo waxe. But all I know is development is a shared responsibility between the government and the opposition.
So he actually said a GDC-led government would focus on fighting corruption, empowering women, transforming agriculture, and creating jobs, with development projects aimed at directly benefiting Gambians.
But that's part of development. That's cool.
And he also criticized the current administration for shortcomings in healthcare, education, and also empowerment. So this all was said during his rally. And I mean, as he said, it's government's duty or responsibility to do things, but I believe as an opposition, if you have, even if it's a private sector, for example, if you have the means to do it for your people, then why not go for it?
Exactly.
Despite being an opposition, if you can do something for the people, even if it's going to be a community, for instance, a certain community, if you have the means to do it, then don't wait for the government before you do it. That's actually you showing how much you love and how much you want your country to prosper. So it doesn't really mean you have to wait because I'm not in power yet, so I just have to hold my things and wait until when I'm in power, then I can do these things. If you have the means, then you can still do it. Doesn't mean if you are an opposition, you cannot. It doesn't solely remain on government.
Ndax yow sax war nañ laa sànnil carte. Because su fekkee ne dama laa jox exemple, su fekkee ne yow da nga foog ne yow am nga ko, but I will not do it because you didn't vote me in. So I am going to wait until I am president. Before. Then ma start def ko. Then man, that opposition kuy xelaate noonu is self-centered. So kooku should not be voted in. Because su fekkee ne government cannot do it alone. You want to impress people. You want people to vote for you. Show them what you have. Show them how you're going to do it. If you have it and then they really need it, then you can do it. People talk and no, I'm not going to do it because of I am not the president or whatsoever. That is selfishness to me. Because so for example, let's say Depakunda is a stronghold for my party. It is a stronghold, but they've been neglected by government because government, don't do anything there. Holding them or whatever, and it is a stronghold for me. Between Dipakuna and Manjai, the stream needs a bridge because and I have the funds. I have the what it takes to bridge that place. Why am I not the bridge because I'm waiting for government to bridge it now. It is a stronghold for me, even if it's not a stronghold for me. If I have it, I can just do it. Maybe with that, they will change their mind and start to vote for you as well. So, I understand for opposition, I am not going to do it. It is the responsibility of the government. They should be the one to do it. More than development, it's a shared responsibility between the government and the opposition. Because you understand that the government will create, they will make the policies, and then they will, make different resources and stuff like that. Then opposition and any other person will hold them accountable. So if you can get lulu, kon defar moo tax ñu ko def. So the same thing, su government defarut fii nga am the funds, you can go ahead and do it. The reason why we are holding them accountable is because we want them to do the right thing. We want them to support our communities and then develop this country. So if they are not doing it and you have what it takes to do it, so why don't you
do it? Absolutely.
So I understand.
Yeah, and also especially in the Gambia, certain communities that might not be supporting a current government, sometimes I mean, sometimes they find it difficult to help them with certain infrastructures. So as you mentioned, if you feel like this certain area is like they're supporting me, then why don't I see that they have this problem? Let's say they don't have water, for example, they have water crisis. You as an opposition, I mean, it's your sole responsibility to go there and help them. So it's a strategy that you can use to make sure that, I mean, hopefully, if they want to vote for you with that, I mean, that could also change their mind. I mean, by helping them, not only, it doesn't only mean if you want to, I mean, make sure that your country prosper, you can only be a leader. Sometimes if you have the means, you can go ahead and do it. You see that there's this gap in this, go ahead and fix it. Like education, I mean, the healthcare that he is talking about. If he has the means, or any other person or any other, I mean, opposition, I mean, they can do it too. It's the same Gambia. Even if you did not, let's say, you're not a leader, if you want to really see your people prosper and you want to see life changing, you can go ahead and do it if you have the capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
have got loolu moo dee waral for example imaginal nga indi development in a community boo xam ne they don't need it or nga spend for money boo xam ne ni wootut ko just because you want to please them because they voted for you. So loolu moo dee waral so feeling it is not my responsibility to do it. If you become president, what you will be doing is called White Elephant Project because da ngaa dem to spend money somewhere loo xam ne sax ñun let's say for example these people need a bridge ñii lii lañ need nga dem just because of the people of talenting vote let's say not talenting, let's say the people of let's say pipeline.
Oh, okay.
Pipeline amul fenn foo xam ne ni am need nga bridge or something. I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so. Or Fajara or whatever. So nga dem foofu nga gis benn diggante yoon bi ak yoon bi rek boo xam ne dafa dog loo xam ne sax nga spend for like thousands of millions of dollars just nga ne da nga bëgg a bridge foofu noonu because fii dafa am space dafa am gap. Come on, but loo miin da nga ko bëgg a bridge. Ni ñëriñ bridge boobu noonu loolu ay fatal la rek mu dem. But just because you want to impress them, just because feel nga ne they voted for me, let me just bring development in their doorstep. That's White Elephant Project. Because what you spend there
it's not actually needed.
Exactly. And then da nga ko defal ñoo xam ne it's just to please them or whatever. So façon mindset bi la moo indi ci nit ki. Whether if you're opposition, man, I believe ne da nga war a emale ñëpp because you're seeking for their votes. Amul X or Y or Z. If you think you can do it for them, do it for them. If that is the case, why were they giving boreholes to some communities?
Absolutely, yeah.
If what Mama Kande said is actually the right thing. So why were they giving boreholes to some communities? Why waxuñ ñooñu ne ma ne it is not our responsibility to bring you development. If you need a borehole, talk to the president, wax leen ñoom ñu jox leen ko ñoom ñoo leen ko war a jox. No, but just because dañ leen yërëm dañ bi gis ne ñii they are in need of this thing, ñii dañ soxla ndox dëgga moo tax gaa dem ba he was well known for doing that. daf daan dem round di joxe ay borehole in communities, especially when he came newly. He was bringing the development in their doorsteps. So loolu moo foofu lay waxee. So not because of government rek, but if you have the means, if you can do it, you go ahead and do it. So it's a shared responsibility. So create the policies and the resources or whatever, hold them accountable, and then support communities as well if you can do it, if you have the funds.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to wait for someone that is leading to do the work. If you have the means, you can. It's still the same Gambia, the same people.
Exactly.
The people that you will still come back to and ask them for your votes. So if you feel that they are in need of this particular thing and I can afford it, then why not go in and help them?
That should be it for the newspaper review, Ramatulai. Thank you so very much. And of course, we're going for a short break and then we'll return. We'll take a look at just, two stories because we have two important stories, especially then you check some of the stories, we have, in, let's say if there were some interesting stories last night, and then you guess these are so important stories, and then we just want to share it so that people can, especially those that were not fortunate enough to watch the news last night and stuff like that. But because guess nañ delete ñu ngi am a very good one, interesting one. We want young people to take a look at this and other stories as well. But it's just two. We're going for a short break, and then we will return. We'll take a look at the stories, and then we will take a look at what's trending. We'll take a look at the beach. I told you I was there yesterday, and then it was so interesting. Well, we are coming back shortly to take a look at all these things. The Gambia, let's take a look at this. The Gambia advances mental health reform with stakeholders, consultation. So 3-day engagement on draft bill 6, inclusive right-based mental health legislation. Let's take a look at this. This is very important. I think it's an advanced mental health reform. With stakeholders. It was a very good consultation. But let's take a look at it and come back.
The National Mental Health Program under the Ministry of Health in partnership with the World Health Organization has launched a 3-day national stakeholder engagement on the draft Mental Health Bill 2025. The consultation, held from 8 to 10 January 2026, brings together government institutions, civil society, academia, professional bodies, service user groups, and development partners to provide technical input into the proposed legislation. More in this report by Omar Job.
The consultation aims to create a platform for NGOs, civil society organizations, and development partners to share insight and recommendations on the draft bill. The draft Mental Health Bill 2025 represents the culmination of a legislative journey that began with a draft 0 in 2014, evolved into a 2019 version, and has now matured into a comprehensive, right-based and community-focused framework. Once enacted, it will repeal the outdated Lunatic Detention Act of 1917, a mind-page law that dehumanizingly referred to individuals with mental health conditions as lunatics. In her welcoming remarks, Ms. Jara Marega reflected on the long journey that led to the current draft, emphasizing the critical role of participants in shaping a progressive and inclusive mental health framework.
The first draft came, and over the years, we have revisions that reflect on the 2019 bill, and the recent one is the 2025 Mental Health Bill. The recent one is comprehensive, rights-based, and community-focused. It is scheduled for submission at the Cabinet soon, and later to the National Assembly for consideration into a mental health law. When enacted, the new Mental Health Bill will repeal the Lunatics Detention Act of 1917. I'm sure you all know the Lunatic Detention Act. Sadly and regrettably, the Lunatic Detention Act defined Gambians living with a mental disorder or mental health conditions as lunatics. Over the years, we have seen different strikes, challenges, and emergencies in the country, as other places. However, this bill, as I mentioned earlier, is comprehensive and is right-focused and community-based. It reflects, as we'll be going through the bill, but it reflects the current challenges of the country.
Representing NGOs and civil society organizations, Aisa Balde underscored the importance of the engagement, noting that it empowers community to shape a future rooted in dignity, care, and human rights for thousands of Gambians.
Longest time, I think we have been pushing for the bill, and now that we're here, we will have to take the opportunity to make sure that we represent the communities that we serve. We are not just here to discuss the document. We are here to shape the future of dignity, care, and human rights for thousands of Gambians. CSOs being here symbolizes our shared commitment to finding a common space where every voice, especially most vulnerable, are heard. We all work in communities where people are vulnerable, especially women and children. So we're here to make sure that their voices and their needs are represented. For far too long, mental health has lived in the shadows of our health system. This bill represents a turning point. As CSOs, we see the daily realities on the ground, the stigma, the lack of resources, the legal gaps that leave many without protection. The stakeholder engagement is the bridge between the policy on paper and the impact in the community.
Psychologist and retired mental health advocate Professor Lamin Sidibe commended the task force for its groundwork. He stressed that the bill, once passed, will significantly improve service quality, outreach, capacity, and resource mobilization. He called on all stakeholders to support and embrace the bill.
Some of them are not alive, but many are alive. Because every house depends on the foundation. And the foundation is not strong. The basis, what we call baseline research and baseline data, then the roof, the top cannot be as strong or expected to be strong. So just to mention that briefly, that is why I feel thrilled or happy to be associated with this stakeholder consultation with a view to improving the bill so that when it passes, naturally, it will enhance the quality, the outreach, the capacity, the financial resource, the human resource, etc. The bill is highly welcome, should be highly welcomed by all Gambians.
Sally Jayo, President of Health Journalists Association of the Gambia, highlighted the media's role in mental health advocacy. She described mental health as a collective issue that demands sustainable public engagement and awareness.
So mental health is not only a health issue, it's a human rights issue, it's a social issue, and a developmental one for that matter. Yet for far too long, mental health has remained underreported. It's also misunderstood by the public, which is also associated to stigma and also neglected mostly in our public health discourse. I'm happy to hear from Fatmata and also having to recollect on some of the significant strides that the ministry and stakeholders have been doing. We have noticed that that is changing over time. So for the media, media's role becomes a very critical one in advocating for issues of mental health. As agenda setters and opinion shapers, the media has the power to determine what society talks.
Have you ever been to Tanka Tanka?
Oh, no.
Oh,
sadly.
okay.
During our psychology course, we're supposed to have been there, but then unfortunately we couldn't.
Oh.
Yeah. But yes, I would love to be there one day to go see.
Okay. Yeah, I can arrange for you so that you can at least go there and do a reportage, do a very nice story there, because it's important as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's take a look at another news because Delete, they've, nets a major drug hold in sweep across the Gambia, because we've seen, young people how they get addicted to drugs in this country, and almost every week we'll see a report where young people are arrested and then taken to Mile 2. Most of the people that were arrested, or most of the people that are arrested all the time, are young people.
Absolutely.
Adolescents. Some teenagers. Hardly nga gis ko xam ne dañ ko arrest mo am ay 35 going up.
Yeah.
It's diggante 35 them down, especially from 20 or 19 down. So it's really crazy. The issue of coos, the issue of cannabis, the issue of whatever you name it. So it happens all the time. So let's take a look at this report and come back shortly.
In a sweeping series of operations spanning the final days of 2025 at the dawn of the new year, operatives of the Gambia Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrested 11 individuals across the country for possession of various suspected prohibited and controlled drugs, including cannabis sativa, cannabis rudolist, ecstasy, and crystal molly. Mohamed Silla has the rest of the details.
Among the significant arrests was that of 55 years old Tijani Njai, a resident of Bansang, who was intercepted at the Kalaji checkpoint on the 31st December 2025 at approximately 3:30 GMT. Njai was found with 13 bundles of suspected cannabis sativa, 8 strapped to his upper body and 5 concealed inside a pillow or wrapped in cement paper. Other notable arrests include Lamin B. Sawane, 36 years old of Brikama Dar Silame, apprehended on 29th December 2025 at 11:07 GMT with 1 bundle, 5 parcel and 41 wrapped of suspected cannabis sativa hidden in cement and white paper inside a multicolored bag. Sering Ba, 56 years old of Bara, arrested at Mayamba checkpoint on 31st December 2025 at 10:40 GMT with 1 bundle and additional quantities of suspected cannabis sativa similarly concealed. Jero Jiba, 30 years old of Gunjur, taken into custody on 1st January 2026 at 2:32 GMT with 15 parcels and 4 wrapped of suspected cannabis sativa along with 10 pills of ecstasy, all hidden in multicolored nylon bag. Mohamed Toure, 32 years old of Latrikunda, German, arrested at Senegambia 50/50 nightclub on 31st December 2025 at 10:48 GMT with 18 small bags of suspected skunk and 9 pills of crystal molly in a transparent plastic bag. Suleiman Kurbali, 25 years old, arrested in Tubakuta on 31st December 2025 at sharp 8 GMT with 1 cannabis plant reportedly cultivated in his backyard. Abdullah Njai, 30 years old of Birkama, apprehended in Sifo on 30th December 2025 at 3:40 GMT with 10 pieces of suspected skunk wrapped in foil and stored in a transparent nylon bag. Mohamed Bayo, 27 years old of Birkama Kabafita, arrested on 30th December 2025 at 8:55 GMT with 23 pieces of suspected skunk in 2 separate plastic bags. Libas 1, 42 years old of Tanje, arrested on 29th December 2025 at 11:34 GMT with 18 wraps of suspected kush concealed in white paper. Yorosuso, 19 years old of Jereng, arrested on 27th December 2025 at 8:30 GMT with 53 wraps of suspected cannabis sativa hidden in white paper and 2 colored bags. All suspects are currently in custody as investigations continue into their respective cases. For Star TV News, I am Mohamed Silla.
In a sweeping series of operations spanning the final...
You see, just like I told you, young people are young people.
Yeah.
Because anytime they make arrests, you only see young people.
And it's sad because, I mean, young people are, if not tomorrow's leaders, we are currently the current leaders. So it's sad at some point looking at young people knowing that, I mean, even cigarette, when you take the pack of cigarette, it's written there that smoking kills. But still, you will see people like smoking it every time. And you know it's gradually, slowly taking away your good health from you. And then you know that if you want to make changes in your country, if you want to become that person that you want to be, you first have to be strong and healthy. But even with that, you tend to realize that people, it's not like they don't know. Certain people know, but they still go for it. They feel like these drugs will help me to forget my problems, not knowing that even after everything, problems are there. You have to go through them every time, but you have to make sure that the way you go through them is going to be a way of you, helping yourself and also becoming stronger and also trying to be that neutral person, not being involved in too many things, because problems are inevitable. They're always there. But if you feel like taking drugs is the only way that you could solve your problems by forgetting them, they can't easily be forgotten. You have to work and solve them yourself. So it's sad looking at the population of the Gambia. I mean, it's a youthful population, and yet you find out that a whole lot of youths are into these drugs, which is not good. I mean, you just played the video here that talks about mental health. So if you want to be that person that is mentally stable, is mentally okay, you're normal, you don't have to involve into these drug things, because eventually it's going to damage your mental health. It's going to be something that in the long run is going to affect you seriously. So as young people, it's very, very important for you to know that these things are not for you. You don't have to take these to forget your problems. Instead, you have to work harder to solve them yourself. Taking them is only adding adding another problem to yourself, because at the end of the day, if you fall sick or you're mentally unstable, sometimes even your family members don't even take care of you any longer. That's what I realize. Sometimes if you meet people outside and they're not mentally okay, they will tell you, he's from this place, but then we don't even know his family members. So sometimes it's not advisable. I mean, it's not advisable at all for youth to be involved in such kind of things. It's sad. You're supposed to be someone that should be helping your country to develop, but you're into these things.
All right. You said we have a youthful population, which is right.
Yeah.
Because, but if our young people, if the young ones are into drugs, they're intoxicating themselves all the time. If young ones get involved in prostitution, involved in trafficking, involved in illegal trafficking, and stuff like that, then how do you see the future of this republic? Maybe in the next, for example, in the next 50 years, or in the next, let's say, 50 somebody, then maybe in the next 20 years. Because those that are teenagers right now doing these things, so in the next 20 years, then you'll make activity. For example, if someone is 17 or 18, let's just say 18, in the next 20 years, this individual will be 38 years old. So let's say in the next 50 years, for example, they go back at 50, between 40 to 50 years. How do you see the Gambia that we are living in right now? How do you see the Gambia? Is it going to be the Gambia we want for ourselves, or you're afraid it might not be the Gambia we definitely all dreamed of? Because the young people that we have right now, who are supposed to be, even though they're leaders now, but who are supposed to be the future leaders of tomorrow, are into drugs, intoxicating themselves, not going through the right path. Do we see the Gambia we want in the next 50 years?
Absolutely not. Like, it's going to be the Gambia that we've sadly, but it will be the Gambia that none of us have ever imagined of. Because looking at the situation, certain institutions are there. If you go, like, most of the higher positions are given to, 40, 50. Yeah. So in the next 50 years, as you said, most of that position should be given to young people that are currently, that some unfortunately are into these drugs. So you tend to realize that instead of putting young people there, the only people that will be available is our elders, like the elderly people. So which is not going to. And then we want inclusivity. In the Gambia, we always fight for inclusivity. The rights of the marginalized and everything. But then, if the youths who are supposed to be builders tomorrow are involved in these things right now, then obviously it's not going to be the Gambia that we all want, because it takes hard work to build a nation. Yeah, it takes bright minds to do that. So if the youths right now that's supposed to be, preparing themselves for the battle ahead, for them to take care of their country, are into these things, then what do we expect? We might not have the Gambia that we all want. Sadly, is the truth, because they're supposed to be right now preparing themselves to hold that institutions, to be in those positions. But if they are not equipping themselves with the relevant information, the knowledge that they're supposed to execute those functions or roles, then what do we expect? Even if they are there, for instance, but then the experience, the knowledge won't be there, because the time that they're supposed to use to get that knowledge, they were busy doing something else that is not going to benefit them. So I believe if they really we want to see that Gambia that we all want, then it's the youths that can give us that Gambia. We the youths. Because, in the next 50 years, people that are right now in their 50s, in their 60s, won't be working anymore. So it's us that will be there. So if the youths, as it's a youthful population, they are not doing that. They are not seeking knowledge. They are not equipping themselves with the skills that will be required of them. Then the work cannot be done. Definitely. So it's like we'll be stagnant. We will be at one place instead of moving forward. And we all want a better Gambia. So the youths, we better start working.
Wow. That's interesting. That's quite interesting. Anyway, let's take a look at what is trending on social media. In fact, wow. Tey Monday la gis nga ñu ngi wax rek fàtte daal. Anyway, duñ am that enough time. But let's go straight to the beach.
Okay.
Because
you seem to like that a lot.
Yeah,
So let's go.
Because then you want to check what's trending on the beach and stuff like that. But you can send some videos to beach bi, and then I just want people, especially if you want to interview Borom Faspi, Binta, please can we take a look at that and come back?
It's Sunday, of course. It's a beautiful, sunny Sunday. I'm right here on the beach, and this is Kombo Beach Hotel. And there is something interesting going on. Liñ seetaan li parce que ñi ngi na gis ni mbaal la ñu xëcca mbaal bi nag am na lim jàpp ci biir géej gi waaye kenn xamangut lan la waaye xam naa ne ak lu mu ci mun a doon daal lim jàppadu lu ndaw parce que ñëpp a ngi taxaw di xëcca gis ngeen ñi ngeen gis ñu taxaw ni ñëpp moom la ñoo seetaan very interesting. Wala ma waaji ci fasam bi rek. Wow, it's a sunny day, a very beautiful weather right here. See? Ngoog na. Gis nga ba tey gars yi ci xicca bi lañ nekk waaye ñii ñooy xicca benn boor bi ñi leen di xicca beneen boor bi na ngi gis ñi leen di xicca fële ñii di xiccee nii. This is quite interesting. Fi mu nekk nag ñëpp a ngi kumpa ñëpp a ngi bëgg a xam ñëpp a ngi bañ kumpa dañ bëgg a xam lan moo ne ci mbaal bi lan la jàpp parce que diis na moom diis kim diis moom foo ko ne weesu na ko. Waaw ñëpp a ngi daw boor bi la dem di téye. Let's see what's in there. Come on. Cappuccino, man. Yes. That's cappuccino, Daddy. Okay. waay kon mbaal bi rek la gars yi doon génnee ci biir mbaal bi jàpp dara non jën yaa ngi ci biir jën yaa ngi ci biir waaw waay jàpp dara waay ay jën yu sew rek la téye nga koy jàpp dara waay bro kon bi jàpput ni kon li jàpp dara yu sew yi rek la téye waaw baaxut man oh no wow with all the energy anyway not bad tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. Wow. You're gonna have a beautiful ride on that. gis nga ba tey gars yi ci xicca bi lañ nekk waaye ñii ñooy xicca benn boor bi ñële di xicca beneen boor bi na ngi gis ñële di xicca fële ñii di xiccee nii this is quite interesting fi mu nekk nag ñëpp a ngi kumpa ñëpp a ngi bëgg a xam ñëpp a ngi bañ kumpa dañ bëgg a xam lan moo ne ci mbaal bi lan la jàpp parce que diis na moom diis kim diis moom foofu na weesu na ko
Ramatulaay gis nga bij bi naka la mel.
Yeah.
maa laaj nga di dem si bij bi but anyway unfortunately because interview bi tax ñu def lii yëpp mënut a dem for some reason but ñu ngi nuyu Essa it's a young Gambian xale bu baax boo xam ne nii moom moo amee daat fast yu nga gis noonu mu ngi cee liggéey bu baax because papa ma ngi def lii for 30 years and then he's the one doing it for his dad now. We had an exclusive interview with him ñu waxtaan ci because liñ ci bëggoon rek mooy pour nit ñi gën a jàngee ci lii especially the young people that are out there doing nothing ne war nañoo mën a dem ci bij bi that's the boy moo nga gis mu taxaw fële na le but interview bi video bi and then it was a promise that we were going to play it unfortunately for some reason nanguwut a play and stuff like that but we will find another day to at least play it. But it is a very nice interview, and I definitely want people to listen to it. And then ñu dégg boy bi ni mo waxee ak yi si mel. But time dab nañu fu mu nekk because coming up next it's the marketplace. So amatuñ time. So what you want to say before we go?
For me, I would first of all say thank you to you and also the team that behind the scene. I would like to end by saying that with all that we've read here on the newspapers, all in all, it was about youths of the Gambia. So it's high time that we start work, like real work, because also election is also fast approaching. For that, I would say for people to be aware, people to know, have the right candidate, not just to go and vote just like that, and also to avoid hate speech, because most of the time you realize that, especially on social media, people tend to have that kind of violent way of sounding when it comes to giving out speeches, especially against others. So it's important that we as Gambians, we avoid that in as much as we can. We should always be alerted, try to be on top of things, especially on social media, to avoid the hate speech that I said earlier, and also to make sure, have your right candidate in mind, work hard, and also become the best version that you would want to be, especially as a youth. Avoid things that will be distracting to you. Even social media is good, but it's distracting sometimes. Yeah. So you have to put it into best use. If not, it's going to waste your time. So people use it to to better their lives, but also because of it, others can prosper. You see how funny does it? So it's important as youth, we focus, have that brilliant mindset that will change this country for good, and also try to be the best version of us and try to touch lives in any way that we can.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Ramatulaay. Jërëjëf. Time's up, and then thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Ñu ngi laa gërëm bu baax a baax. Anyway, viewers, that's all what we have time for. This is where we're going to do the quote until tomorrow, inshallah, for another edition of the Morning Star. Until then, bye bye. Jërë ngeen jëf.